I got involved in the Agile community about a little bit more than a decade ago. It wasn't a new fad that I was running to. It was an evolution of a way that I had learned to build software. I worked at a small company where we did a lot of things collaborative. It made sense, and it was a solution to a problem. I think it was the ability to honestly tell people, these are good people that are solving problems. They use these processes. I've seen the processes be used here, and most of it is just through evidence. I look at all tools as their value is based on how much value they provide, but versus how much time we spend talking about the tools. Because if you're always talking about the tool is probably not the right fit for you, and it's a good fit in a lot of companies. VersionOne helps me get to the problems, get to the information so we can make better decisions. If I walk into a situation where there's 30 to 40 people that are spread across 3 locations and it's hard for them to make a strong connection, some kind of a tool is inevitable, and that's a constraint. And then it's a matter of which tool is going to allow us again to stay focused on the problems. VersionOne is one of many tools in that space. So for instance, VersionOne does not solve the problem of connecting people across code bases the way continuous integration and automated tests does. It solves more of the problem of, are we building the right thing, which pieces are done, what problems are we discovering. In fact, the burn-up chart, I think it's called Trend in VersionOne, I stole that from VersionOne because watching people use burn down charts, and when they would go flat, the discussion was also flat. And as soon as I had the trend chart in VersionOne, now called the burn up chart, suddenly I started having much richer discussions. And that's kind of something that I think connects distributed teams, which is a criteria for cutting to a tool. Size, distribution, complexity, all those kind of aspects. Sentence that I always tell people is, I heard, our favorite client is someone that's hit the wall with spreadsheets, and that really won me over in a big way, because I heard people know how to do this. They're looking for a tool to help them, because tools don't solve problems unto themselves. You don't put a developer in front of a better IDE and suddenly they code better. You put a new developer in front of a better IDE and they're usually confused because it's very powerful. I think initially people start using the process and they're focused on maybe like one team inside one iteration sprint. And then they start realizing if that's really not the nature of the beast, that their larger challenges are across teams, across time, across features. And that's brutal to do, for instance, with a spreadsheet. After after we can show that it's establishing metrics and cadence on a team, people start realizing, if we start measuring the same things, answering the same questions with VersionOne, we get the ability to consistently answer that across teams, across time, and there's a lot more value there. Some of the things that are happening in the Agile space now is if you go outside of success and adaptability over time in development, we're starting to move that into the other bookends, which would be product design and testing. And I think being able to marry those across the delivery spectrum and across teams in another dimension is going to be a pretty powerful advantage in software development in the 21st century.